Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 6 of the Gaming Insurance Podcast, where myself, Will,
Tom,
Ryan,
sit around and talk about gaming news, topics, and everything pop culture. And Ryan, you have a pretty good topic for us today, so let's have you kick it off.
So today my topic is our personal iconic heroes and villains in games
oh man,
overall. And you're right, I mean it's
that's a tricky one.
and everybody's different. Or some people have their own similar likes. I mean, as a general concept, you've got your major iconic people like Mario and Bowser and Zelda and Link and
Anything from Nintendo.
yeah, honestly, anything from Nintendo is pretty much iconic. But for this topic, it's personal. So for me, personally, my hero is Commander Shepard from the Mass Effect series.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
You play with him or her for 3 games, your play style, and it's hard not to fall in love with that character.
Yeah, you truly get invested.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when a game that's so heavily influenced by the choices and decisions you make, bringing along your team, recruiting your team, like you really put a lot into this character.
That's exactly why they are my hero, iconic hero. I mean, how more badass can you be to defend the entire galaxy?
Right.
For villains, this one is a little smaller of group, but is a consistent threat. Kane from the Command and Conquer series.
Okay.
So Kane is the leader of Nod, who are the antagonists of the series. They essentially want to rule with power. So Kane is a dictator. As the series goes on, you think Kane dies because you've blown up the building he's been in.
Right.
You've blown up the car he's been in. You've assassinated him.
At some point, you would think.
You would think he's dead, but he just keeps coming back. You know, like, I'm alive. Hey, I'm over here. How's it going? I'm gonna nuke this town today. And he's the villain that wants to rule peace through power. Just to dominate everybody, and then when nobody can resist you, your faction has its own rule. And that's why I think Kane is my iconic hero, villain, because he's just consistently there.
Right.
And no matter what you do, he's still there. Still kind of being a dick.
Nice.
Tom, what about you?
I think my main villain would have, or I'll start with villain since you started with hero. For me, I'm more of a casual gamer, as you guys know. For me, it's the Far Cry series has been my favorite for the last few years. So Joseph Seed has really been currently the top villain outside of like the like obvious Bowser's and stuff like that, like you were saying. But I think the last Far Cry 5 series, Joseph Seed was a really great villain.
Oh, yeah.
Like the way they carried out even the sub bosses, even the new one was okay. I think we all played that one, but it wasn't as good as Far Cry 5. I think we'd all agree. And I just think Joseph Seed was a great, like the sublying text within the whole thing. But for hero, I would have to say Master Chief, because back when I was first getting into video games, back in the early aughts when Halo first came out, it was
Combat Evolved.
just amazing. Like it was the first game that really evolved. Like you said, Combat Evolved, like the game was called. It was really an evolution of the whole gaming industry, and it was just so to this day, it's Halo series like. Will always keep me drawn in. Like the stories have always been fun.
Right.
Even the ones that aren't, the best story wise, they're still fun to play. Yeah. It's like Doom. Doom's not the best story in the world.
I think like Halo is
but it's
a
fun.
good story. Like 1, 2,
yes,
3 got a little off track, and then 3, 4, 3 took over. Like the story hasn't been as good as it was back then.
I
But
think
still,
the newest one I still need to play more of, to be honest.
yeah.
But I have heard great things about the new one, and I really want to get more invested into it. And hopefully next week we can talk about it more.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
have you read any books or any shows or anything about Master Chief?
Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to really dig into it. So, what have you heard about it? Like, because I know you personally, that was one of your favorites. So let's really dive into Master Chief, because I kind of stole it from him, to be honest with you. So let's really dive into it. Like, what do you have to say about him?
So, Master Chief, the whole idea premise of Spartan 117 is that he is one of the best. And if you go back and reading some of the books and some of the lore behind it, I fell in love with the character because he might not be the actual best of the best, but he is the luckiest SOB ever.
Luckiest Spartan there is.
Which is why he was actually chosen.
I would be lucky to be better.
The leader of the Spartan Project, the creator of the Spartan Project, goes to little John Shepard.
Oh, baby.
He was like 7.
Yeah.
Shepard, not Shepard. Little John.
Oh, Jimmy.
And
Commander Shepard.
they essentially, hell, different universes.
Yeah,
They
right.
could be the same character. Who knows?
Female Commander Shepard.
Goes up to him and asks if he wants to play a game.
So Jojo was showing up here in a minute.
God. And the game is luck. She tosses a coin. And essentially he has to say, hey, is it heads or is it tails? Gets it correct every single time. Just because he's lucky.
Lucky.
And then he becomes Master Chief, Spartan 117, that everybody knows and loves now. And in the books, they had a little more detail of like his growth from training of being essentially a child in ancient Spartan times, where you're raised as a child to be a warrior.
Yeah.
You go through all this tough training, but it's, in the future.
Ender's Game almost. But
Yeah.
with, like military.
Yeah. And the growth that he has and what he has to endure as he becomes this normal kid with really good genetics and who's really lucky into the iconic hero he is today.
Yeah, the books are really good. I really enjoyed the books.
You could watch Amazon Prime, I think, is coming out with a TV series.
That'd be awesome.
Paramount Plus, I think.
Paramount
is what
Plus.
it is.
Okay.
Oh, lordy.
Has the
Another streaming service.
The trailer I've seen is good.
Yeah.
But
Is it live action or is it animated?
it's live.
live action.
They also do have
Do they have they
animated version.
have they shown who's playing Master Chief, or is it helmet on the whole time? So it's different
I
actors?
would imagine it'd be the helmet on the whole time.
The whole time. Because
Well,
his face isn't even shown.
We never know if it's gonna be like the Mandalorian, where it's wait until the end and it's some big name.
I don't
actor.
think they would do that.
You don't think so?
No.
No.
Because throughout the entirety of every single game, they would tease the helmet coming off,
Mm-hmm.
but you would never see anything past like the eyes. So like at the end of 5, I think it was, he took the helmet off and you could see the eyes,
Yeah.
but that was it.
I
don't, if they do something similar, I could see that, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
see a full face.
Now, let's just fantasy booking, so to speak.
Okay.
Who would you have be your Master Chief?
Oh, as an actual character?
Yep.
Oh, geez.
If you could have an actor, pro wrestler, MMA fighter, let's just say everyone has the best action bows in the world, who would you pick?
I don't know. That's actually a tough question. Who would you want to be Master Chief?
I think for overall, if he could articulate a little better back in the day, I think Schwarzenegger would have been one of the best Master Chiefs ever. Because honestly, back in the day, like he was peak, or that, or Bruce Willis. If you want to go like Americana, I think Bruce Willis is a diehard character, so to speak. Would have been a good Master Chief, like, you know, just the average Joe who was just
Lucky.
A little bit, yeah.
yeah, lucky.
I mean, yeah, that would totally fit in his diehard
Yeah.
luck stat.
Once again, he was lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Or you go as go. I mean, my number one would be Bruce Willis, then Schwarzenegger, and maybe Stallone, just because, you know, it's got to be an action superstar. It's Master Chief. He's got to be a little bit older. It can't be a younger person because he is chronologically older. Yeah, it's kind of like Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
But he has aged periodically. He has had, you know, 10 years, 5 years, so on and so forth.
I mean, he's only aged when he's not frozen.
I was gonna say he's been in stasis so many times that it's hard to actually tell how old he actually is.
So there's a lot of leeway, to be fair, with the acting.
Yeah. I mean, in that sense, it's pretty much is like Captain America, how Cap is like 100 years old.
Yeah.
But
So then they could do an older actor or a younger actor. Who would you pick?
for Master Chief,
Yeah. Hopefully you've been thinking.
I have.
That's good.
yeah, I'd pick someone like rugged, but like is quick with the lines.
Yeah.
I think Tom Hardy could probably do a good job with it.
Ooh, that'd be a
That's a
good
good
one.
choice.
Because I think like with him, his work
That'd
in
be
like
good.
Venom, how his quips are getting
Yeah.
better.
I think the way he works.
He's a
with
little short though for it.
I think the way he works
That's the
with,
biggest
I think
issue.
you know what, that's a great call though. With him working with CGI, with Venom would be a great because he'd already have that experience for working with Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd have that he would already be kind of trained, so to speak, for that back and forth with something who's not there.
I think Tom Hardy's a good actor just in general.
That's a good call.
I would enjoy him being Master Chief.
Well, Tom Hardy was on that list.
Ooh, we're both and stuff. Get wrecked.
Sniper, no swiping.
But I would also think that with these new particular movies that came out, the John Wick movies, that Keanu Reeves could fit that profile because he's got the skills, but he's also cool and calm under pressure, as Master Chief is.
Yeah.
Where it's like, the tank's blowing up, what do we do? Get out. Or I'll handle it, no
Right.
problem.
Yeah, no, I'll handle it.
Well, to that, you know what? It's funny you say that. What was that movie? Nobody. Have you guys watched that yet?
Yeah, I've seen Nobody.
I think that maybe even someone like him could be Master Chief. Just some Joe Schmo who just happens to have good stats and puts on a mech suit and can rock it. But it doesn't have to necessarily be some big muscle guy, because once you drain Master Chief's shields, he's kind of SOL.
To an extent, a little bit, yeah. I mean, his armor does give protection, but yeah, his shields are his primary defense.
Yeah. I think that could be a nice way to do it too. Where you get some kind of like, oh crap, here we go. It doesn't have to be some tough guy, but it could also be, some guy that's kind of, oh shit, under fire, watch out. Kind of like a Spider-Man Deadpool style, like a comedic take on it.
That wouldn't go that
Would you want it to be?
Take
Would you
on
want?
Master Chief?
I think they really should.
No.
Too far.
Too far?
You're out of the box again. Too far out of the box.
To the black.
Reel it back in, bud. Reel it back in.
Can't. Right out there.
You could have support. There have been other characters in the universe as a whole that have kind of fit that role, but not Master Chief.
Like he has, there are comedic moments, but not that comedic. Not like.
Well, I think so subtle comedy throughout the movie, what are the little ones, the grunts, when they run away from you. Yeah. When you instead of using your ammo, you just smash it. But what's the word? Pistol whip them.
You
Sorry.
bash them.
Yeah,
Bash them.
whichever. Like that'd be a funny way to like kind
to
of the
fit
guys are running through.
to fit that role, that semi comedic but still kind of serious role. I think
Javier Bardem.
I would think it would be the character who takes Sergeant Johnson's position.
Yeah.
Because he's a hard ass, but at the same time, he's also very funny.
motherfuckers.
Right.
Like,
Right. We're sorry they came to Earth. We're sorry the Marine Corps kicked their ass.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. Yeah, I think Halo is a great, like you were saying earlier, Amazon's coming out with a series soon.
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus.
Oh, it's Paramount Plus, sorry. It's going to be a great opportunity for them to make a lot of money. And I think this is an opportunity to see where the series can go, in the cinematic universe. Like it starts off here, but who knows, like, what movies they could do. I think it could be a great opportunity for like main feature films.
Movies. Shows I think are good.
The universe is big enough where the book series.
I'm not saying right away, but like,
Yeah.
let's say in a few years after this series really takes a hold and they kind of really divulge into the, like you guys were talking about earlier, the comic book lore and like, the graphic novels. They really dive into the backstory of Master Chief, who he is.
So they have the book series has like, essentially it's, Halo 1 through whatever, plus the beginning for John as him being young. There are totally different books in this massive series of, because there's 130 Spartan 2s. So the book series also splits off to other Spartan groups.
Yeah.
So Halo Wars 1 and 2, which is more of the RTS genre, doesn't even involve Master Chief. Totally different group of Spartans, totally different group of Marines, UNSC personnel. So they could do something based off that as a movie or a continuation of a live action show. I'd be excited to see it.
And you kind of see more of the Spartans with like, because after like Halo 3, like ODST, you kind of see like the ground units, and then what's the Halo after that? Reach. You kind of see like different Spartans. That's before like Master Chief as well.
Yeah.
After. There we go. Thank you.
The Spartans from Halo Reach are Spartan 3s.
As you can tell, I definitely stole Master Chief from Ryan.
Again, just a smidge.
Sorry.
Say like a 99.9% smidge, but it's still
As
smidge.
a casual gamer, I only got some.
But that's a good villain choice, because I think Far Cry does a really, like, with the villains, it's really, they do a good job of developing the villains.
Yeah.
Because you're not just developing your own character, you're also seeing the development of the person you're going up against.
Well, I think we all played that Far Cry 5 a lot when it came out.
Yeah.
I know me and you played it together for a bit, and I know you played all the way through.
Yep.
Like, throughout the game, you constantly have that little bit of narration from main villain, from his side, main bosses, and it's just constant development of that character, and it's just really fun development of the game where you're not just running around, taking out random soldiers, as it were, but there's a reason for it. Like after a minute, there was the one villain. What's the northern region? Was it?
That's his son, the military guy.
Yeah, the one. Anyway, the one who like when his soldiers hunt you down with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
You just be driving around and doing some random missions. You just get shot. You're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I just think they did a really great job of developing that character and his main, like, a good main boss when his sub bosses are just as fun as they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and it
all has to like work together, build on each other, and develop a really good story.
Yes. What are your top villain and hero?
So for hero villain, like I want to do like a duo, and I thought of like the Assassins and the Templars from the Assassin's Creed series. Like, just you get a new character every time. Well, Ezio kind of takes off the series, and like going behind him, learning his story. but then developing with other assassins throughout time to kind of like mix it up, and how the Templars are there. The story gets a little wonky, like in like the Unity and like the all that area of it, but the rest of it's pretty good. And I like the development behind like the assassins, how some of them you get to see, like for Black Flag, he just kind of jumped into the assassin life. And where others are like born into it, it's what they do, and they're after the Templars who have wronged their families or friends and have killed people that they've known. But for villains, I went with Wesker from the Resident Evil series.
Okay.
Good choice.
Constantly there, and kind of like sets the tone for like the whole series, and of course it sets up for other villains like Dami Mommy in the latest one.
See,
What?
no,
You gotta call her that.
you know, I'm not a fan. As much fun as it is seeing you get scared, I hate to be scared. So I've never played the Resident Evil series.
They're good. Like it has its like I would say it's more jump scares.
No thanks, Tom Hanks.
I played the first one, jump scares. The fifth one's not scary. I would not say it's scary at all.
The fifth one is not scary.
The seventh is a psychological horror, though. That one is something else. That one is that's the most terrifying.
I don't like
Resident
being
Evil there is.
spooks.
That and what I can't remember his
It's like
damn
that
name.
show Fear
but
Castle on Hulu. No
the
thanks.
dad's name that just continuously comes back to life no matter how many times. Like
Oh,
you blow him up, you catch him on fire, you put a chainsaw on his face. He just like shakes it off and keeps coming back.
Yeah.
With Village, I wouldn't say that's scary. It has jump scares once again, but
There are
it
some
tells a really
aspects
good
that-
story with like sub bosses that
Yeah.
lead to like the big one.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the Far Cry, but with a little bit of horror in there.
So
I
I've watched
really
you
enjoyed
play
the
on
Village.
Twitch a few times.
Yeah,
Spooky.
I
yeah.
mean, the original ones.
It's fun watching you get scared too.
The,
Mike's about to get scared.
the
Yeah.
original Resident Evil games have their few jump scares where a zombie or a dog might jump out a window out of nowhere and just goddamn, my heart stopped there for a
Yeah.
moment, you know, in moments like that. But it's not as psychologically terrifying. Or
7 was definitely different than the rest.
yeah,
Yeah.
which that one's set up honestly how I think they're gonna go forward with the future of the Resident Evil titles.
Yeah. Because like, I feel like there was a big difference between 7 and 8, whereas 8, they were more focused, like, yeah, it was still scary, but it was still, like, very heavy story base.
Yeah.
Like, the story they told in it, Ethan Winters sucked ass. I hate that guy. But the story they told in it was fantastic.
He's he's one of those dumb.
He's one of the, like, you
dumb
love the game,
characters.
you hate who you have to play.
Yeah, because every
Ooh, that always makes it hard.
there
I
were
wouldn't say it's hard, because I still enjoyed it.
Well, it's
like,
hard
I
to-
continued. It's
Yeah.
just like he does something. It's like, you deserve that,
play the
dumbass.
character you didn't enjoy playing as.
Yeah.
For me, that's hard to play as a character I don't want to play as. Like what? I want to lose because this guy's a dick.
well, for him particularly, my gripe is that he's not a dick. He's kind of an idiot at times.
So much.
Oh, no.
Where it's like, all right, he went through
Playing as Cap.
the
okay.
entirety of 7, where you've seen this guy has seen shit go down, and then
He's
he,
the protagonist in 7th, right?
yeah, yeah.
I liked him in 7.
So then he comes to 8, and he's got his moments like, you've seen this shit before. What's wrong with you?
Stop.
Why-
Walk away from it.
Why are you freaking out? And you've handled this before you've had military training by people
Yeah.
who actually do this stuff
I'll say
for a
it's
living.
very different though with like the villains,
Yeah,
because like
absolutely.
I feel like the villains in Village are more like lore based, like the
Yeah.
vampires, the werewolves, the whatever that one swamp lady is.
The fish thing.
Fish thing.
I don't know what
That
it
was
is.
terrifying. That was just like, oh, you're ugly already. Oh God, you're gross. I want to go back to the first boss, please.
She
My mommy.
Like the first boss, I was okay if you killed me.
Yeah. That's Will's dummy mommy.
Nah,
Oh
it was
my.
like the daughters.
Oh.
Those two, yeah. I agree.
There was like
Man,
mom.
an explosion happened.
She was
The
big
three.
and big, but the 3 daughters were A-okay.
That's my honey, baby.
But yeah, Wesker really set up the villains in Resident Evil, so like you have to give props to him and how he just kept coming back. You kind of saw him as the villain in the first one, like they made it blatantly obvious, like, oh,
Yeah.
he's gonna stab me in the back, and I'll be surprised.
But he's also one of those characters that, hell, at the end of the first one, you think he's dead.
Yeah,
And then he shows up in, I think, in Code Veronica, which is technically the second one. No, sorry.
it's after
2. It's Resident Evil 2, and then it's Code Veronica.
Code Veronica. Yeah,
He shows up again for a snippet in 2. It's the hell?
mm-hmm.
You should be dead.
And he shows up in 5 as well, right?
He's the main character. He's the main
the main
protagonist in
villain in
5. You don't know that until halfway through the game, but it's like, all right, will you
The one
die
I don't-
this time?
The only one I don't really know about is the 6th one, and that's because I've been told that it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. So it goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8.
In
that
Halloween series,
Yes,
just ignore Rob Zombie.
Pretty much.
6 does not.
So I know we sort of kind of breezed over it, but you mentioned a combo. What are your favorite combos for hero villains? I mean, even for me, I would say the Arkham games with Batman and Joker. Like the first 2 were great. The third one was a little played out. Like, well, if you don't include Origins, if you include Arkham, Asylum, City, and Night, if you don't include Origins in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Skip that one. Everyone should. As a Batman fan, don't. But I think, Batman and Joker, that's a great series throughout those 3 games. There's just sub-villains throughout. Are there any other great combos throughout games that you like, Ben?
Oh man, there's a lot. I mean, the iconic duo
Yeah,
for
go nuts.
heroes that come to my mind are Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
They are just, like this, buddies through thick and
it's
thin.
fun. It's fun to play as a characters you can like split too.
Yeah.
We have different aspects, different things, different with it.
Abilities.
Thank you. Abilities for different characters.
Sonic and Tails.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the back and forth that, Ratchet and Clank have is just hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh, so good.
it's like the better version of Banjo Kazooie is Ratchet and Clank. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I
more
agree with
abilities, more fun, not as bad at graphics, more polygons than 5.
that. I think they were at 6. I don't know. But still, yeah.
Will, what about you? Any other major hero villain combos besides the one you mentioned earlier?
I mean, that's the one I could think of that goes not just in one game, but expands. That's the premise behind the whole series is Assassins versus Templars. Like, it does get a
Those
little
games are great. Those
weird,
first
sketchy
couple.
in some parts.
Yeah.
Like the first one, second one, good. The fourth one, Black Flag, is still one of my favorites.
Oh my lord, it's those.
It's
There's so
They
much
give you
fun.
a ship on a fucking sea. Let's fucking go.
That's it. Black Flag. is-
should have been.
Black Flag. Yes. Black Flags. I remember we played Sea of Thieves once. I like sold someone's ship. I was like, "What do you mean I don't get to keep it? I'm on it.
This is mine.
What do you mean I don't get to reload with it?"
already carbonated in the mast. It's fine.
But yeah, that's why I really enjoyed like that series, the duo of the Assassins, Templars,
Yeah.
and just how they keep the story fresh with each time period that they do it with.
Now, real quick, which was your favorite Assassin's Creed out of all of them?
Black Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, what about you?
See, it's a
Because there's a lot of
it's there is a lot.
There's so many.
It's a
them. And they're
good
all
balance
so different.
between Black Flag and Valhalla for me.
Oh my lord, yes.
See, Valhalla doesn't have Here's the problem.
Okay.
Black Flag has
Forgot about
ship
that.
combat
No,
is
didn't.
amazing.
Yes.
This like that makes the game.
Oh yeah.
It really does.
Starting off having all the other Assassin's Creed games and then having that where that's a key aspect
Yeah.
is just mind blowing.
That and kind of someone jumping into the role of
Yeah.
the assassins.
But for me, then particularly me, because I love Norse mythology,
Yeah.
Valhalla is it.
Yeah.
So it's a toss up between Black Flag and the amazing ship combat and the lore and the mythology on
Yeah.
Valhalla's side.
Which it seems to be their trend as of late is they're going more with lore style games where you had Egyptian, you had Greek,
Yeah.
you've had Viking now, which is why which one's the Greek one?
Odyssey.
Odyssey. There we go.
We'll get to that
The
one
obvious
here in
one.
a second.
Like that one would be up there for me, but like if I had to challenge Black Flag, I would say it's Assassin's Creed 2.
Yes.
When you could double hidden blades. The introduction of that was huge. It's like, oh, finally, you got the idea of putting both on.
I say for me, my favorite was Odyssey.
Yeah.
That
I know
Spartan
you
thrust
talked a
kick.
lot about
That Spartan thrust kick, you could destroy everyone. Just nope. Out.
He gone.
It was the best. You go on the edge, out. Well, where's my dad? Gone. Spoilers.
Fell off that 300-foot tall cliff to his death.
It was so much fun. They had the ship combat was so much fun in it. You had the horse. You could auto guide as you were shooting your bow.
Yes.
That was a great addition to the game. It was just so. To me, it was just the most fun. Valhalla was a lot of fun, but again, it would really got away from what the game was, and Odyssey was a lot more back and forth, like from the real world to the CGI world, I guess, for less
Yeah.
because that's really what it is. It's just CGI world.
The Animus.
Yeah, the animals.
Like being
Thank
inside
you.
the Animus.
I feel like they go back and forth with using the Animus or not using the Animus.
Yeah. Valhalla was a lot of fun too. I played the crap out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Building your what's it? Your raiding party.
Your village, your settlement.
So
Yeah.
Building
your raiding party
The
is
raiding party was my favorite part of Valhalla. You can go up and down the different streams and just start raiding all the
Having
villages.
them like sing songs as you're just
Yeah.
going, like you're just chilling. You're like vibing.
Well,
with
that's
this shit.
Black Flag introduced that. We could go around
Yeah.
and because I had a big.
Sing shanty.
I love Black
shanties.
Flag. I think we all loved Assassin's Creed games.
Yes.
Black Flag, I was the first game I really I wanted to run around and get the different shanties so I could hear them sing different songs. It was fun. Like
We need a new playlist.
this is boring. I've heard the same song over and over again. The Drunken Sailor is fine at this point. He's sobered up.
He better be. It's been 4 hours.
Hey, I'm cheating, right? Let's get over it.
So you we're talking about iconic duos and game worlds and things like that. But now the idea that you loved ship combat and sea shanties
Yes.
and worlds like that. If you were to build your ideal game world or how it would play or operate, how would you build it?
I would combine Assassin's Creed 5 and Black Flag into the same game. I want the
Odyssey
I
was the fifth one.
no, I want Black. Yeah, Odyssey was.
You said Assassin's Creed 5.
5 is
No, Black Flag.
Origins.
I want
Okay.
Far Cry 5
Okay, there we go. There we
and
go.
Black Flag as a combo game. I want the silly, ridiculous weapons of Far Cry 5 and the end game, like the gameplay of it was great.
Shovel launcher.
But I want to add in, like, I want, to an extent, I guess it's sort of kind of Far Cry 6 mixed in with Far Cry 5.
Okay.
I want, like, just the resolver weapons on a ship base, like on a really big creek in the middle of the Mississippi, playing Far Cry 5, battling some other thrown together, hillbilly float. It's like little slings and catapults. I just think that'd be a lot of fun.
Tom's floating down the Mississippi River with a catapult.
I just think, but it's a Far
He just
Cry.
wants as far out of a game possible.
Yes,
Slingshot one
I
of
want a game
Right down
for
to
me,
the story.
for me and nobody else. I want Far Cry 5, but in the South. Be more fun. Far Cry 5 and Mafia 3 mixed together. We gotta take over the whole city. Because Mafia was a really fun game too. You ever play those games?
A touch, not a whole lot.
Like where you gotta The Godfather was my first introduction to those games. The old Godfather game for the Xbox. You guys ever play that?
See, I played the original Godfather.
Yes. That was a lot of fun for me.
That was.
We gotta slowly take over the city. It's methodical, but it's also good for casual gamers like myself, where you can kind of pick it up as you go, and you don't have to worry about like GTA styles where it's like, oh shit, like 20 things have happened and I missed everything because I took 5 days off to go work.
Blasphemy.
Right. And I just feel like it's one of those. For me, it's games that are forgiving to busy lifestyle are more my favorite. Like Fortnite was a lot of fun when it first came out, but I think we all played it a lot when it first came out.
We did together, yeah.
And
we're great at it, but we still have
I was terrible. I can shoot, but I can't build.
Guys, I figured out 90s.
How do you build? I'm dead.
Doesn't matter.
Scaring Cap is all I ever tried to do. It was fun.
We got a sniper.
Yeah, it's me.
Tee. But so those are my favorite style of games in general. I mean, it's hard to really diagnose what I really would want outside of like Far Cry, but more in depth. But also not too, but it's weird, but not too in depth. Like the Fallout games is like, that's too much inventory. For the casual side of me, if I have to manage inventory and do side quests and do the main quest, that's too much.
So more of a open world, but very directed.
Yes, like the Arkham series.
Yeah.
But I want a more of a realistic version, like the original Red Dead.
Okay.
Red Dead 2 was too much for me. I tried because I loved the Red Dead Revolver, the original game. I loved that game. Red Dead Redemption, the first one, loved that game. Red Dead Redemption 2, too much.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what?
It's like a directed storyline with good development between yourself and the villains.
Yes.
With like different modes of
But something you can break away from but come right back into and feel like you haven't lost anything.
Yeah.
Because that's really hard to do nowadays. Because everyone really wants to catch that younger market where it's like what is it? Call of Duty. We'll all say Warzone. It really took off. Like their yearly releases aren't really as big as the Warzone releases are. Like Warzone is the bread and butter now.
Yeah.
Like the new releases are because they have contracts with people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Warzone is really where they make their money right now.
True.
So, what about you? What would you say would you be your archetypal game?
Oh shit.
I know.
This is a lot to ask.
Because like,
Would it be a Marvel's Avengers style game or would it be a first person style game?
be Marvel's Avengers fixed.
Good luck.
like-
No one's ever figured out a good overhead 4-player game.
Yeah,
true.
actually they have. It's Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, Ultimate Alliance.
You say they figured it out.
I mean, granted, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is old.
That's true.
That was
The
like,
third one's still good.
yeah, but I don't like the third one as much as I did
No.
the original or even the second one.
Yeah, the first one was really good. The second one was
The second one was a stretch.
yeah.
So I have to go back and try
The
to
idea
play
of
those.
playing some of the villains was great, but the story
Is that a
wasn't
PlayStation or
really great.
Xbox?
Both.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Should be.
Well, like Avengers,
I'll try
it's
and check
not
it out.
overhead. You're not balancing all four. You're just the one.
Okay.
So with Avengers, you're just third player. You've got 3 other heroes that either follow you that are AIs, or you can play with friends and like they
Okay.
control themselves. But it's very, very directed, not open world.
Let's say I need to.
Like the most open world Marvel game would be Lego Marvel Superheroes, where you're like in New York and can just fly around.
Let's say I really enjoyed the only. I tried to play the Marvel game for a bit, the Avengers.
Mhm.
I just could not. My ADHD really kicked in. I could not get
that's-
past
You
the Comic-Con. I was like, cool. This is great. Walking around a Comic-Con. When does the game start?
you'd get really lost too after you beat the story, and then like it's okay. Now you get to develop your characters, upgrade them, figure out gear, start working builds.
It's a
all
grinding
kinds of other
game.
crazy stuff. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, it is a very grindy game. It can be, but at the same time, you can also treat it in a very casual aspect. But you still have to somewhat manage your inventory.
Yeah.
But for like an ideal game, I like an open world concept like Skyrim, how it's like vast, a whole lot to do.
always
Like,
enjoyed
I don't
those
mind,
games.
like, I just want to get lost. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be able
Escapism.
to go, I want to be able to know where the main quest is and like follow it. But at the same time, like if I don't want to do that main quest, and I just want to like ride my horse over this way, do that. So like an open world style like Skyrim, but more of the storytelling that like God of War has, and like the different like the lore behind it, and the build up, and the constant guessing like turns and twists. It's like Skyrim didn't really have the turns and twists or like big surprises. It's like, okay, that makes sense. I can kind of see that. It's like, oh fuck, you're Freya? You're fucking Loki? My kid is Loki? Spoilers.
Oh no.
Usually when spoilers come out, you say spoilers beforehand, but it's too late now, so carry on.
He edits it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll flip my own words around.
No, he won't.
No, I won't. It's been out for 4 years now. You should have been able to play it.
Figured out.
Right.
Spare parts, but
No, like the in-depth storytelling and twists and turns that God of War developed and kind of showed a different side to Kratos as well. Once again, like I really like the character development. Like I want to, like whoever I'm playing as, I want to invest in them. Like I want to understand the story. When I make a decision, like I want to have to like really question myself.
Yeah.
Like with Dying Light 2, I'm not really questioning myself on the decision making that my character's making as much as I'm playing it. But with like God of War, I was like kind of like questioning it, even though there wasn't a whole lot of decision making. But there were moments where it's like, oh, we have to do this. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I want those moments in a video game where it's like, I know I have to do this. I don't want to, though.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's so hard.
You brought it up.
I mean, it is hard.
Because you have to, like, basically, you're just combining the games that you love already into one.
Yes.
So for me, well, what my problem is the game I want to combine no longer exists.
It's okay.
So for me, it's Fallout 4. The world, the idea, some aspects of it, like, I mean, essentially it'd be the Skyrim aspect of you have, this is your mission, but you can go do whatever. And then another game called Command and Conquer Tiberium, which was teased years ago, but they scrubbed it for funding or whatever. It never got released. Essentially, that was a Command and Conquer game where it's a base building RTS, but you're on the ground commanding your troops. You're right here on this line behind a tank saying, hey, I need you guys to go push this building. To have that aspect of, you know, you could have control of AI units to go, I don't know, maybe in like Fallout 4, you've got a super mutant base over there.
Yeah.
Control a group of tanks or infantry or something from your base to go
So
destroy
almost like
them.
Fallout 4, where you're like your settlements are raising like armies and
Your
whatnot.
settlement actually works. Yes.
Yeah.
Because the base game of Fallout 4, your settlement was a great idea, a great concept where it traded resources, you could build and craft things.
But the people don't do.
But it doesn't really do much. Yeah, it was kind of,
It's like, great. Could you guys help me? There's a lot of beasts out there. We
Nah,
got some
fam.
corn.
yeah.
How'd you get irradiated corn?
I don't need grains.
Your shit now glows in the dark. Congratulations.
I couldn't tell you how many times.
Mitch Hedberg, your shit that goes in the dark. Enjoy.
I couldn't tell you how many times I got a radio request. Hey, our base is under attack. They're attacking from over here. Can you help defend us?
And you're one guy with a gun. Oh god. Oh god.
Yeah, you try to do it yourself.
Right.
No.
It's like I built this wall and turrets for a reason. You tell me you can't stop these 4 ghouls from attacking you? So I would.
They're level 2. I'm level 26.
What am I supposed to do?
Sneeze on them.
That's fair. I'm not gonna.
So I would combine the base building aspect of the Command and Conquer series, which is amazing, with the world and the aspect and how Fallout 4 or that universe operates.
Okay.
You kind of build your own base.
You
Stuff like
you
that.
would build
They
your
base
own base
bases.
that actually works.
So you can do multiple bases and really kind of build
Yeah.
your own
Yeah.
empire.
Yeah, and those those
Like I
bases
said, the
actually
risk in there
do
too.
right, where you'd have actual threats attacking you,
Yeah.
and you could
Now,
actually
would
take
that
your
be,
people from home base.
would
to
that be
attack
a-
them.
Online all the time kind of game, or like
No.
Conan Empires, or
I would have it as a single player, maybe even a multiplayer.
you
as
have, like
in
robots will come
like,
and randomly attack
co-op.
your building while you're gone, or would it
No.
only be active while you're online?
only active when you're there.
Okay,
Kind of like a server, pretty much.
Because
that's the kind of game I can get behind.
I don't want it to be kind of like
I don't have the kind of free time for an always going game.
like Fallout 76 has it a little bit where it's like, hey, there's an event. It's a timed event. It's only going from this time. Well, shit, I'm at work. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just want it to be active when I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, those ghouls are gonna attack my base. Well, they can wait until tomorrow.
Well, I guess I'll do it when I wake up tomorrow morning.
Right.
Like coffee and deal with this in the morning.
Okay, Google, set a reminder. I have to deal with the ghouls in the morning.
You don't have to do that. It's fine.
No.
Watch this. Reset. See?
Gotta be quicker than that.
Got I reset it then.
That's true. Stop.
So that would be my iconic world, or the game that I would want built.
Okay. So it seems like we all like the open world style concept of it.
Yeah.
With like some kind of directive. Now it just depends on like the depth of it and like.
Yeah. How
How much
directed
of a-
do you want? How directed do you want to be?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of depends on your play style. Whereas like you're more casual and like you want to
Yeah.
invest time like when you're playing, but that's it. And where
Mhm.
like if I really like a game, I will invest hours upon hours
Yeah.
into the game.
Oh, like when Far Cry 5 first came out, I would spend an entire day off, like almost 4 hours straight
I think
playing
that's
that
the
game.
one game I remember you being like super invested in.
I love
That's the
Far
one
Cry
time
games.
when you
Those
were
games
like
are so much fun.
you didn't seem like a casual gamer.
Far
like,
Cry
with
5 and AC Odyssey.
Yeah.
Those games got me.
Yeah, those two you talked about the most, I
Those
think.
games are fun. That Spartan kick and then the Joseph storyline were so much fun.
Yeah.
Except for the planes in Far Cry 5 or any Far Cry games, the planes suck to drive
Oh yeah. That's just flying and just
because they're accurate and planes suck. It turns out to try and fly.
true.
Good luck passing that test. Seems tricky.
Who gave you your flying license? Nobody! Did you mean to do a barrel roll? I did a barrel roll. We didn't crash.
What's that?
Thank God I packed a parachute.
Pair of what? Bye. Oh. Anyway.
So what are some games and like with character development, which seems to be something that we kind of go back to with ideas? What kind of character development did you see really change a lot? Like possibly you start off a villain, changed into a hero, maybe a hero changed into a villain. Like for me, for example, I'm just now getting into the God of War stories, and
Listen, I still
kind of,
feed into that.
how God of War started before the 2018, like, I guess reboot is what it really is that Kratos just went crazy. Like, it kind of had a story, and then it just turned into, oh, you're a god? I want to kill you. You're a god? I'm going to kill you. Whereas this one, it's more so, it's like, yeah, they're gods, but he's trying to teach, he's trying to be better, even though he's like haunted by his past, and he wants to do better for his kid, and that he actually like works alongside some of the gods.
He used to be essentially a murder hobo.
Yeah.
He just murder everything, kill everything. But now, like you said, he's learned and is like, I don't want to be that demon anymore.
Yeah. So it's, for me, very interesting as I'm just, like I said, I'm just getting into this series, playing through them. I played the 2018 one first. That's the Kratos that I know. So that's the one that my mind goes back to, and that's how it is. Like whenever you play a video game for the first time, when the hero you play with for the first time. So if you played Halo 3 first for some god awful reason, that's the Master Chief that you know.
I'm so sorry.
So like that's the Kratos I know. So when I go back and I play like the original one, it's like, oh man, heard you've seen some shit, dude. No wonder. No wonder.
He's so cranky.
He's got such a rough. He's got such a rough start.
A rough law.
Rough start.
Oh shit! But what's another like
I think we
character
avoid
arc?
copyright infringement on that one.
What?
It's short enough.
It's fine.
We're not that popular yet.
So what's another like character arc or change that you really enjoyed?
I'm too casual.
I don't want to go back to.
Other than like the original Donkey Kong story arc, where he goes from throwing barrels at Mario to being some guy who just hangs out in the jungle
Yeah.
and fights a crocodile.
Has his own personal problems. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
I mean,
Once again, you're like a casual gamer, so it's like
Yeah, like that's
what do you see?
That's always the classic like story arc. Like, hey, Donkey Kong was a bad guy at one point, just for no reason.
Yeah,
And then he
it's like I wouldn't have even thought of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think of Donkey Kong as the bad guy. I know him like as the good guy, like the guy with the bananas, and he's crazy.
Also the old guy. So.
Yeah.
So, the one that gets me is, I forget his name, but he's the main character.
Me?
You play as him in Spec Ops: The Line.
Spec Ops: The Line.
It's a Gears of War-ish kind of game where it's a third-person. It's a third-person cover-based shooter,
Okay.
and you're in.
What's by 2K?
You're in somewhere in Saudi
Bucharest.
Arabia.
No.
Anyways,
Just keep going. You're Captain Martin Walker.
yeah.
You say keep going, then you interrupt him.
So your goal is to go into this area after a sandstorm disaster happened, and you think you're killing insurgents,
Turns out.
terrorists and things like that, which you absolutely are in the beginning.
Sounds like Vietnam.
A little bit, because there are parts where you end up going through and seeing different things.
This is Black Ops 2.
No.
No. There you go.
So you'll go through the
I'm not reading
game
that.
playing.
Shut up.
You go through the game playing as squad leader, hero. These are my bad guys. Clear cut lines. But as you progress, you realize, well, the player, not the character, something's off
Right.
with what's going on. You're talking to your character's talking to your former commander, former sergeant, former role model leader. Turns out, guy's been dead for a while.
Turns out.
Because
And
like this is like talking about how like you start to see like his sanity begin to deteriorate.
yeah, to the point where he orders an airstrike on a target, full of civilians, thinking that he sees that these are
Oh,
armed
right.
insurgents.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are just women and children.
Wow.
And then you
It's a
if you
hell
play
of
this
art.
game, you actually
What's-
see this.
What was that? Black Ops 3? Or no, it's that Modern Warfare 3 with Mason, where you they start. No, it's Black Ops 2, isn't it, with Mason? When they start doing the numbers.
Yeah,
Stuff like
numbers
that.
too,
When they
yeah,
start doing
yeah.
the nukes
Yeah.
that out of nowhere. Uh-oh.
but you see this character go through this, and then at the end, it's like he's no longer the good guy.
Yeah.
He's murdered
He's, like,
a bunch
full
of
on.
people, and it's like, all right, your final decision is, all right, actual, U.S. reinforcements are coming in to figure out what the
Mhm.
hell's going on. Do you fight them, or do you just
Surrender
kill yourself right
Oh.
then? Because those are your only two options. You done murdered a bunch of people,
Right.
and your own squad members. What do
So
you
like
do?
at the end,
Do
you
I
like,
find the
realize
entire
what you've done.
military, or
Yeah,
do I
much.
just...
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a dark
Jesus.
but very
Yeah, that's a hell of an arc.
interesting carry arc through the game where you're a good guy and now, oh god, you've done some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're a real bad villain, essentially.
I might check this out because that's one in-depth story right there. But like, shit. That's all I got to say about that one. Shit.
That's all I've got to say about that.
Jesus. He's on one tonight, folks.
Yeah.
It's like every time. It's like I can tell when we start to get long into this episode. It's like, okay, is the mental deterioration starting to happen again?
It's ADHD kicks in. So what about you, Tom?
Oh God.
What?
Do you have any other arcs besides Donkey Kong, or is that the arc?
I mean,
I mean, you are a casual gamer, I understand.
Would you enjoy an arc like that in like a Far Cry game?
I say honestly, I've only really played 5 and 6 like
Mhm.
really in depth.
Yeah.
I've tried to go back and play 4 and 3. 3 I tried to play because it came with Far Cry 5, and I was like, it's too
Okay.
much. 4 I haven't had a chance to start yet, to be honest. I just really like it. Very basic. You're the hero, beat the villain, like Doom. Doom is
Yeah.
so much fun because shoot the gross things. Okay.
Black and
Done.
white for this man.
Right.
Black and white was.
Would you like it if they made a game? What if they made Far Cry 5, but you could play through Joseph's eyes?
That would be fun. That like a DLC where you could like play as Joseph Seed.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. Where you could
Flip it up. Don't play the hero. Play the villain.
Yeah.
Your job is to destroy the hero.
I think that would be a great way to go for Far Cry. I think that's a field they haven't dived into.
Right.
I think a lot of people would have
Far
a lot
Cry
of fun.
idea.
Well, like I know it's a little bit of a rough time for it, but what was it, Plague Inc? I think we all played that back
Oh,
then
yeah.
on our phones.
Yeah.
But like a game like that where you're like, hey, you're the mastermind. Like, hey, how do I do this? And how do I
Create the super plague to kill
Yeah.
everybody.
like But like, what if you're like you were saying, like, what if you're Joseph Seed
Mhm.
and you were like trying to counteract, like, oh crap, they did this. All right, no, I'm gonna do this instead. Like, I'm gonna reinforce these other outposts because they took out an outpost. Crap, am I gonna leave them all plain so he can just take them out with his bow and arrow and slingshot? No,
Because obviously that style would be not.
that's what we would do. I know me and you did that a lot. Bow and arrow day.
It's like that play style. It's more so like, I guess like overhead style, like watching it happen because
Yeah.
the hero obviously is usually just one person.
I guess it's
up
more
against the army.
Madden coach mode. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
what it would be,
Actually. Yeah.
like you were
That'd
saying,
be kind of That's a good way to put it.
but more of a military style.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. Like what's the game? I guess it may not be a game. But like Revolutionary War style thing. I think the next Call of Duty, take it way back. Let's
You
bring
got a musket.
Good luck.
musket and bayonet. Let's go, boys. The gulag. What's a gulag?
God.
It's It's a canvas tent. Go with it.
That would be too far back. At that point, that's just Assassin's Creed 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that was my favorite one, honestly.
As
With the Native American.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
That was a good one too.
Well, I think that was the first one where they really started like running through the trees and stuff too, wasn't it? And you could first swim.
Mm-hmm.
Like before that, you're like, and dead. Cool,
Yeah.
Master Assassin can't swim.
desync. You desync and you go back to where you were.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dope.
I've killed hundreds of people, but I can't swim.
I can't swim. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's the nice thing about those, that they keep like they recognize the problem they have and then they fix it in the very next one, which it makes me like more.
Can they
excited
make
for
every game ever? Hey, we listened to you. Sorry about that. We fixed it.
Yeah.
Like, can
That
they
would
be in charge of?
fantastic.
Can they be in charge of 2K from now on?
Oh,
And then can they not?
What Ubisoft being
And they, can they quit firing everyone who works at WWE so we can have a game that's not going to feature MG or what is
I
his
don't
name?
think 2K is in charge of WWE's firings.
I know.
I don't think that
I
works that way.
know.
It's-
What's
2K
that?
just makes the games based on who they haven't fired.
What's the rapper? MGK? Is that his name?
Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's in the game,
Machine. Okay.
like as a
What?
playable character.
What?
Yeah. Because they
I'm-
fired everyone. And then they have no one.
Are they gonna add Eminem so those two can fight?
Probably Kid Rock at least. Kid Rock and Fred Durst will be in there.
Snoop Dogg's gonna make a special appearance. He'll be
With Sasha Banks? Yes.
He'll be a coach. I mean, that one makes
Yeah,
sense.
that makes sense though.
But
Oh my God. Snoop. Da 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 da.
Oh lord.
That's Dre. That's Dre's song.
Yeah, it's
Snoop.
there you
Sorry.
go.
Anyway.
Dre's song, but Snoop's part. You got it.
Yeah.
that's fine.
I know I am.
I think that's a good part to like. Time to wrap it up right there.
Is it?
Yeah. Before we start going way too sidebar. But once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in to episode 6 of the Gaming Engineers podcast. I will post links to all of our socials down below, but you can find me, Cap Stormbreaker,
Tom.
I'm Death Guard.
and we will see you all back next week.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
See you.